Rav, how can we make such an exercise that I peel from myself all of my desires, food, sex, family, money, honor, power, knowledge, and I relate them to the Creator? Because certainly the illumination comes from Him and dictates that I want these things. How do I reject in return the lights that dictate these desires in me? How can we think of this exercise? That I remain with a general desire, but it has no specific color or inclination. It's just a general desire to enjoy. But these forms of enjoyment, money, honor, power, food, sex, family, etc., I reject that from myself, as if peel it off and give it back. Try to make this tangible.
Balasulam writes that if a person wants to take control on some desire or tendency, so first he has to get rid of them, move away from them, and then in a scrutinized manner start bringing them back. So that's a matter of restriction and then work. So how can we feel that we're staying away completely from the desires that is put before us, dictated, and then we're pulling them back in, but with the intention to bestow?
Rav, so how will we feel that we peel a certain external layer off of us, which gives us over our general will to receive the different forms of pleasures of food, sex, family, money, honor, power, knowledge, and that's what we peel off, but the general desire remains. How can we envision that still? That we have some fundamental desire. Raw desire, okay. Rav, after we peeled this external layer, which is like the first restriction, then we bring back with the intention to bestow each and every desire. How do we do that? After we peeled off, we made a restriction emotionally to put it out of use. How can we then gradually bring it back to the extent that we want to use it correctly, each and every form of pleasure, so that it's already in order to bestow? How do we bring it back in order to bestow? You all talk about it, and then it will become clarified. So the exercise is clear, yeah? What, Niv? What? You detach from the forms of pleasures that you have, that's called restriction, and then you bring them back in with monitoring seeing that you're doing everything in order to benefit the group and through them, the Creator. As much as you understand. Okay? What? What's not?
It doesn't. How does it come in the work? Intellectually, I can understand what you're talking about and also describe it.
So let's say that until tomorrow you engage with that theoretically. But like that, yeah? How do you imagine yourself this action? That you refrain from the pleasures and then you bring them back to the extent that you do it in order to bestow. This is hidden work. No one's going to see anything on the outside.
Does it have anything to do with my connection to the group?
The group too doesn't have to see it. You can consult with each other, but no one needs to feel what you're going through on the inside.
So practically, let's say today a desire to eat comes after the morning lesson. So what do I do with it?
You imagine yourself that you're not using that desire, and then after you make an effort not to use, where you don't use it, you then bring it back, but to the extent that you're doing it in order to bestow, meaning that you'll have the ability and the power to continue working for bestowal.
Could it be that there's desires that I won't bring back, or every desire that awakens I have to bring it back in order to bestow?
If it awakens, you have to see whether it works for the better or not, for the benefit of the group or the Creator or not.
So there is a scrutiny towards the group.
Yes.
When does it happen?
Right away.
How?
There are no desires where we are not obligated to do them in order to bestow. There are no such desires. Every desire must become that.
So a desire awakens, let's say to eat. Now I ask myself, first of all, even before I ask myself if it awakened for bestow, I move it away, or
first you reject.
First reject. What does that mean?
You don't want to connect to it. You don't want to examine it. You just simply, you reject it. You refrain from it. After that action, see, how would you use it? If you relate to it, not like a desire of your own that comes from the body, from the beast. Rather, it comes because you decide to use it. You artificially awaken it and use it in order to receive strength and then continue to spiritual work. This is called necessity.
And how do I check if I really stayed away from it and I'm not just...
In the meantime, it's what you feel, like the way you feel it. It's not like that there's a room for these exercises now, but still we have a need to somewhat get closer in the group. And by this there's a certain kind of hurdle we have to go above here. We have to break through.